What you want?
Looking for a saboteur from the Gap. He crashed a chopper and escaped.
Oh, sounds dangerous to me.
Don't worry, he's not going anywhere. We cut the power to the elevator, and the crash has blocked the walkway.
What if he comes in here?
You'll be fine. We posted guards. And Reich wants to hunt him down personally.
Right, eh? This guy must be important.
Yeah, we got orders direct from LINC. Take him alive before he does any more damage.
Best of luck to you.
These guys are out to get me, but why? They already destroyed my home and my people. Well, Reich, whoever you are, it's retribution time. Gotta be clever. Play them at their own game. First thing is to get Joey running again.
Welcome, folks, one and all, to Let's Replay Beneath the Steel Sky, released in 1994 for the PC, Amiga computers, and much later on iOS devices. Beneath the Steel Sky is a point-and-click adventure game developed by Revolution Software and published by Virgin Interactive Entertainment, and has been freeware since 2003. This game is the second game released by Revolution Software. The first was Lure of the Temptress, and this game had a very large budget for that company. Over £40,000, and 11 people were working on it over 2 years. This game was also worked on with Dave Gibbons, the co-creator of the comic book series Watchmen. You saw some of his art in the intro. This game is based in a future, a distant future, but not as distant as you may think, where the world has been ravaged by either heavy pollution or a nuclear war. It's never quite entirely specified. And we are here, on a walkway, after watching everything that we knew, our home and family, be destroyed by Reich. For some reason, we were brought back to the city that we came from. But why? Why do we need to be here? Under whose orders? And who is LINC? There are many questions that we can ask. We can't really ask anyone right now because we're stuck on a walkway and we're in serious trouble. But first things first, we need to get Joey working again, and we need to get out of this factory. As we overheard, guards have been posted. We can't use the elevator because the power is out, and the walkway is blocked by the helicopter that we were in. It's amazing that we survived that helicopter crash as well. Maybe we're just really lucky. Either way, it's time to use all of our point-and-click adventure game knowledge to escape. This is a game that is near and dear to my heart, and one of the first point-and-click adventure games that I played in full. It's got many memories attached to it. Hopefully those memories will help me complete the game, as we solve the very first puzzle. The fact that there is a guard down there. We could go and say hi to the guard. There's a stairway right here, the one we went up. We could go back down if we wanted to.
Those stairs don't look safe to me.
I'm sure they're fine. Let's go, Foster. What's the worst that could happen? That's the worst that could happen. Despite the orders to take Foster alive, you will be shot, and you will die. Let's restart, shall we? This game does have death scenes in it, though they're quite heavily broadcast as, "Don't do this, it's a silly idea." Don't walk down the stairs while the guard's there. You'll get shot and die. Let's try this again, shall we? This time with less failing miserably. I'm pretty sure that when I was younger I did fall victim to this trap, and it made me very afraid of trying anything that was risky for the rest of the game, because I did not want to see that game over screen again. It was quite haunting when I was younger. We need to figure out the controls before we solve this first puzzle though. There aren't that many controls, which is good. If we left click, Foster will try and move to the area that we've selected, and if we find something that we can interact with, like for instance the notice on this door, or the door, it is left click for examine and right click for interact. This is counter to how many other point-and-click adventure games control. They tend to have left click as interact and right click as examine. It doesn't take that long to get used to it in this game, however. We do have an inventory, it is hidden away at the very top of the screen, and when we're in the inventory, time freezes in the game. This can be important because there are a few timed puzzles, and having time to think is a good thing. We only have one item, and that is a circuit board. Holding down left click over the item will give us a description. The circuits on the board contain Joey's unique personality. We do need to get Joey a new body. We'll keep that in mind as we try and get this guard to go away. Having a friendly hello conversation won't work because he says hello with his gun, and he's very deadly with that gun. Let's read the notice, shall we, and see where this door goes.
Fire exit. Do not obstruct. Key available on presentation of Requisition Form SOS-23.
If that one examine does not give you a hint as to what kind of world we've stumbled into, I don't know what will. This is a very dystopian future that Foster inhabits, and I imagine this door isn't very useful as a fire exit. We may have to use it to get out of here though. Can we take the notice? We could always do with a piece of paper. No, we can't. Let's try the door.
Doesn't look as if it's ever used.
Maybe the last person that used it kept it unlocked? We could try and open it.
Shut tight. Just as well there isn't a fire.
Indeed. We're going to have to get that door open if we're going to get out of here though. So let's look at the only other thing that we can examine, apart from the Stairway of Doom. And that is this conspicuous looking rung here. Maybe it was part of a stairway that has since collapsed, maybe it was part of a handrail that has since collapsed. All I know is that health and safety here is not a thing that people consider. Let's have a look at it.
I could make use of that.
Oh, that you could, Foster. We'll have it. And much like many protagonists from point-and-click adventure games, Foster keeps this in his coat pocket. That coat pocket has a very, very large amount of space in it. We're going to be having a lot of items in this game, fortunately not too many at any one time, but that metal bar is quite difficult to hide without it appearing obvious in the coat. Maybe it's a very thick coat. Let's have a look at that metal bar, shall we? The crowbar is strong enough to give good leverage. That is your clue that, hey, maybe you could pry that door open. So we'll right-click the metal bar, and then we'll left-click the door to solve our very first puzzle. We're out of this factory, and we'll never see you again, guard. We're so cunning.
Who's up there? You won't escape that way!
Oh, we'll see about that. Through the fire exit and away! Oh.
He must have jumped. Fell all the way to ground level. Phew. Lucky escape.
You're not kidding, Foster. That was very lucky indeed. It's a good thing he didn't close the door while he was here. Perhaps he'll go away now, but either way, we've discovered just how useless that fire exit is. Even if there was a stairway, how big would it have to be to get all the way to the ground floor? It's a long way down. There's a sign we can look at though. Let's have a look.
Security symbol. That must be their headquarters.
If it's something you can interact with, chances are it's going to be something that'll be important at some point in the game. Even if that importance is, hey, this is a way to die. Can we do something with it? No, it's too far away. So let's get out of here. Open the door. And back over to the place that we started at. With one difference. The guard has now gone. Maybe the guard is happy that this place is secure. Either way, we're going to go down the stairs. And at the very bottom of this area, we are now free to do some exploring. We want to do some exploring, and we don't want to go this way. I don't even think we can go this way, but if we can, let's save first. Pressing F5 brings up the menu, and we're going to save right here. There we go. Save game. We now have a save beyond the first puzzle. Let's see if we can get out of here. We don't want to go out this way, but we can try.
I guess this leads outside.
That it does.
It's locked. No way out through there.
Not at present anyway. Let us use this panel.
That panel in the floor looks like an elevator.
It does.
It doesn't look as if it would bear my weight.
It probably won't. There's also this press here. For the longest time, I thought the press was very important for something.
It's wheezing and banging, like an asthmatic dinosaur in the mating season.
Can we use it?
I'm not putting my hand anywhere near there.
That's very sensible indeed. There's only one way we can go, and it's this exit over here. Let's go in. Exits, it doesn't matter if you left or right click, you'll go through. We're in this room now, and there are lots of things that we can look at. There's an elevator, there's a transporter robot, there is a display panel here, another display panel, there's lots of junk, and even more junk. And there's an exit. Let's start looking at everything, shall we? Starting with the robot over here.
A transport droid. Wonder if I could fix it. If Joey was here, he'd know what to do.
Hint, hint. If Joey was here, he would know what to do. Let's see if we can try and fix it, though.
There doesn't appear to be anything wrong with it.
Then there's something a little more complicated that's at fault. Let's look at the panel.
Pretty lights. And a keyhole. But no sign of a key.
Well, that's no good. We're going to need that key if we're going to interact with this.
I can't operate it without the key.
There are some things in this game that are interactable, but we don't end up using them. Other people end up using them, and I like the fact that they're things that you can look at and try to use, because it gives the game an agency beyond you. The fact that there is a thing here that we can't use but somebody else will use is a very neat touch. What about this display panel?
Flashing lights like these can be hypnotic.
Let's see if we can use them.
There's no way of changing the sequence.
Fair enough. There's the elevator here. Let's have a look at it, shall we?
An elevator to the floor below.
We could try and use it. We could. But we'll wait a tiny bit and instead look at all of this junk that's here. There's a lot of it.
A discarded coffee machine?
Can we take it?
That's no use. There's no jug.
Oh, darn. What about this here? Or this? Let's have a look at this first.
Whatever that was, it's beyond repair.
Can't take it anyway?
I'm not picking it up. I don't even know what it is.
But just because you don't know what it is, Foster, doesn't mean it won't be useful. If anything in these games, you grab everything that isn't nailed down, and if it is nailed down, you get a hammer so that you can get out the nails and then take the item. There are a few games that punish you for that kind of behavior, but not this one. And then there's this very conspicuous piece of junk.
It's a robot shell. Rusty, but it might work.
It might.
It's got no circuit board.
Well, what a coincidence! We have a circuit board! Let us bring Joey back, shall we? Right-click and left-click. Hi, Joey. Welcome back to the world of the living.
Welcome back, Joey.
Is this the best shell you could find?
Listen, we're in deep trouble.
You've turned me into a vacuum cleaner.
It's functional. Don't be ungrateful. Now, I don't know where we are, or why we were brought here, but I intend to get some answers.
I've got a weird reading from my scanner. We're 120 meters above the ground.
We've got to find a way down, and keep out of the way of security.
We now have Joey with us. Joey will follow us whenever he can, and Joey is a big repository for conversation, hints, and solutions to puzzles. We're going to be talking to Joey right now. We have many things to ask him. Joey is one of my favourite sidekicks in any point-and-click adventure game, mainly because of his sense of humour. Let's see about figuring out exactly where we are.
What's our present location?
What does it matter? We've had it.
My, aren't you a positive person, Joey? No. No, Joey is not.
What is this place?
It's not worth explaining. You're too thick.
He also insults you quite a lot.
Any human activity nearby?
How should I know? The shell sensors are useless.
Well, that's not going to help us. Let's actually talk about, the tools the shell has.
What tools does that shell have?
None of any use, unless you're into housework. I've got an onboard buffing and polishing tool, and an extendable probe.
The probe sounds useful. The other two, much less so. Apart from the fact that this room is exceptionally clean, I don't think we're going to be buffing and polishing our enemies to death. But we do need to get out of here.
We have to get out of this city.
Can't we just stay here?
No, not really. Let's ask, however, if he's homesick at all, because I think Foster is.
Don't you miss our home, the Gap?
With all that sand clogging my circuits? No, I don't.
That does make sense. From a robot's perspective, a deserty area is kind of rubbish.
That little shell suits you, Joey.
Get lost, Foster. It's awful. Find me a new one.
We probably should find him a new one. The probe is nice, but it's not really going to do us that much good to have him only have the probe. We could give him that transporter one, but I don't think that will work. We could try.
About that temporary shell, Joey.
I don't want to talk about it.
We'll promise that we'll find him a new one, though. We are, after all, his friend. Why wouldn't we?
I'll find you a new shell, I promise.
I should hope so.
Marvelous. I get kidnapped, nearly killed in a copter crash, hunted by professional thugs, and I'm stuck with a robot in a sulk.
Could be worse. You could be stuck with no one, Foster. But can Joey start the transporter?
Can you start that transport?
How do you expect me to do that? I'm just a cleaning droid, remember?
We don't have enough information to start up the transporter. We may get the information as time goes on. There's one more thing that we can do though, and that is that we can get Joey to analyze things for us. Give us an analysis of this metal bar, Joey.
Give me an analysis, Joey.
It's a metal bar.
What sort of metal?
It's an alloy of iron and carbon, commonly known as steel.
We learned something today. That steel is an alloy of iron and carbon. Also, notice that, Foster said, yeah, what's the metal made of? And the yeah wasn't actually spoken. The, subtitles are a little bit finicky in that regard, but in general, they are really good otherwise. And when we come back, folks, we will try and figure out how to get out of here. The obvious solution is to step onto the elevator. We're not going to just yet, though. There's someone we may want to talk to first. And so, I'll catch you next time, folks, and I'll see you then. Later. You may also have noticed that Foster is wearing something that's red underneath the coat. Will we ever see that? We will at some point, but not just yet. It will remain a mystery. Not forever, but for now. There are many mysteries in this game, and we have only just begun to scratch the surface. We have so many names that we don't have any meaning to, like LINC. We'll have to figure out who LINC is at some point. Oh, that we will. Later.